Shouldn't be able to do that. Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. So if you haven't guessed, today we're going to be changing the dash top panel on this 71 Nova that has just given me a whole lot of headaches recently, but we are, I hope, closing in on the end of the surprises. I don't know why I keep saying that, but we've got a dash right there, full dash top panel. So it's actually for a 69 Camaro. So it stops right here at this top fold right here, and it doesn't have this flat piece right here with these little screw inserts. So we're gonna have to just kind of strategically cut it probably somewhere along here. I want to use as much of the panel as I can. The top of the dash is doing okay, but it is a little bit crusty. I can probably knock off the wire wheel, but as long as I have the new stuff, I might as well use as much as I can. We also have some rust over here. I'm gonna turn that light off. Right in here is a little bit soft. Got rotted through just a little bit. That's where the dash pad sits. I'm guessing moisture got in there, so that'll be covered up with the dash pad. I don't think the new panel covers that, but it will come down to about right here and then go right across the top of this opening. And I think it has the first row of these little square punch outs. So we're gonna use as much of it as we can. So to start with, I'm probably gonna just mark a line and cut. Not super generous. I wanna make sure I have more to cut off later, but I've gotta get all of this. I gotta get over here so I can show you. I gotta get this out of here. So all this ugliness where the little tab was welded to the A-pillar, that is oogly. And it makes it so I can't really overlay the new dash panel all that well and get an idea about where it's gonna sit. I don't know what happened there because this side is not bad at all. So we gotta at least get that out of there so we can lay the new piece over and see where it's gonna sit, make sure everything lines up well, and then we can go ahead and drill out our remaining spot welds, and at least get the majority of this top piece off, lay the new one on, and just make sure we like where it's gonna be, mark off where we have to cut, either where we're gonna cut the existing dash or where we're gonna trim up the new piece and just make them mate together good and flush, make sure everything's landing where it needs to land. We also need to remove the VIN, because that'll be going into the new dash over there when we're all done. And it should be good as new. I probably could have just made some pieces to lay over this or cut this out and patch it in, but two problems with that. One is I'm pretty sure, remove Excalibur there. I'm pretty sure that there's a little bit of a rust underneath there, just where all the plenum and the upper cowl overlap. It's inside the car, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal, but I'd like to address that. And the more I can take off of here, the more access I'll have to do that. And two, because this is where the windshield sits and it gets sealed up with just some epoxy or window urethane. But because it is where it sits, I want it to be nice and true, because this obviously happened because the windshield started leaking at some point to begin with. So I'd like to not compound my problems by being part of the future leakage. So we're gonna go ahead and make some room here. I'll set you guys up and film as much of it as I can. Make some room to lay the new dash on and see how it all sits, and then we'll just continue hacking away until it lays nice, clamp it together, weld her in, fix anything underneath. We'll fix anything we find underneath it first, weld her in and be done with it. This should be relatively straightforward. I won't say simple again, but it should be straightforward. So let me get you guys set up and we'll start hacking away. Look at that. It's all done. Just kidding. No, it's It's just laying over top right now. So I'll pull it up and show you what we're dealing with. Man, this thing was nasty. I just wanted to go a little bit further into this. So, oops, that felt good. I mentioned that this was for a 69 Camaro. It's for a 69 Camaro or and a third gen Nova. They share a repop dash top panel, but you can see that this right here is the new panel, and it stops right here. So all of these holes right here and right here, those are for the dash cluster of a 69 Camaro, whereas a third gen Nova, if I can get this out of here with one hand. Oh, what's in there? Oh boy. Oh boy. That's a two-handed operation. Okay. Whereas a third gen Nova has this this lip right here that the dash cluster screws into. So what we're gonna end up doing, we had a lot of overlap still, which is what I wanted. We're probably gonna end up slicing right along this fold right here and doing the same thing on the new piece. So just right along right here. And that's where we'll join it, and then we'll kind of, can I get it where it wants to lay? Oh boy, I am struggling. And then we'll probably just, once we get here, we'll probably just jog over and trace this down and and probably try to use as much of this as we can by cutting it out of the original dash. So you can see up here, I still have to do a lot of cleanup, some of the spot welds, some of the spots where it was kind of tacked in place. I'm guessing it was coming up or there was some rust noticed by previous owners, but it's pretty crusty. It's still pretty solid. This is double walled. This is where the upper cowl overlays the inner plenum. So this is double walled. This lip up here, this is the plenum, and this would all just be seam sealed or something. So this is nasty, as you can see. But this right here is all inside the car. The dash overlays to about, you can see the line right there. So this is all inside the car. It's not too big of a deal. Oh no, I can't walk by. Oh, I really boxed myself in. So it looks ugly. Over here is not nearly as bad. Let's see what's left here. This is actually relatively solid. And this right here in the middle is gone. But again, that's inside the car. It's not too big of a deal. So we're gonna work on cleaning this up. I don't wanna go too heavy on it because I don't wanna take it away if it is thin, but I do wanna get it down to bare metal where we can weld it. Do some cleanup, take this down as much as we can to bare-ish, clean, weldable metal, and do a little bit more trimming inside of here. Just figure out exactly where we're gonna cut, where we're gonna lay in, and splice the new piece into the old. And while we have this thing accessible, we'll probably try to get down in there as much as we can. The wire wheel, I kind of half-assed it a little bit just to see what kind of access I had, but this is like a razor blade, so we got to do something about that. But that's what we're gonna do. A little bit of cleanup, a little bit of prep, and we'll probably come back when we get the new piece laying pretty much in its final home, and then we should be able to just weld her all in and move on. So I said simple, I didn't say easy, and I'm gonna stand by that. So far so good. It's just a pain, but we'll deal with it. Anyway, I'm rambling. We'll come back when we've got this thing laying in a little bit more of a final home. All right, progress. So everything's trimmed back, and we got a bunch of clamps in there. It is pretty much sitting where it's gonna sit, and it is really, really close all the way around. Any of these gaps here, like this right here, this will just move back in, just by hand. So figure we'll get some tacks in the areas where it's nice and tight, and then start pushing everything in and just tacking it along as we go. But if we come over here, you can see all the plug weld holes, or all the plug welds are punched out. Clean the metal off. We've got primer underneath it. I did go ahead and hit the backside of the existing dash with some rust converter, but same thing. It's really, really close. Even this gap here, this moves a lot. This clamp is stopping it from moving independent of the new piece, but it will move right up to it. And all of this over here, again, flexible, we can move it all in line. So all the way down. It is at the very least very, very close and nothing that we can't adjust. So I'm happy with it. I think that anything we have left we can make work. So I'm gonna set you guys up on the tripod and I'm gonna start welding her in. At least get a few. I'm probably gonna start in here and at least, you know, go all the way through, get 1 or 2 tacks in each spot just to make sure that it's closed up tight all the way around. And then we'll probably come up front here and start pulling this down, you know, get it where we want front to back, and then push down to make sure we have a good surface for plug welding. But we'll do that inside first and then the outside, and that should be that. So I'll get you guys set up. It is the next night. Just got a little late on me, but she's pretty much in. Actually, over here is all done. Inside the car, everything's lined up. I still have quite a bit of welding to do inside of here. Pretty much all the seams at least have a few little tack welds on them. That's just gonna be a ton of welding, and my back couldn't really take hunching down inside the car much longer, so I'll get to that some other time. I'm not really feeling it right now. It's not going anywhere. It's all lined up. Out here is done, minus just, you know, cleaning up a little bit, grinding it down, making it look a little bit better. Edges all stitch welded. We ended up putting some extra welds some places just because the metal was thin in some places and didn't really want to, I didn't want to force a plug weld on it, risk blowing through once this was on there. So we plug welded where we could, do some extra stitch welds on there for security, and we're gonna grind everything down as nice as we can while not taking off too much of the weld. And then sometime down the road, we'll all get seam sealed and sealed up nice. Shouldn't be a problem. I am gonna test fit the windshield now that it's all welded in, so hopefully I don't have any problems, but just make sure that the channel it lays in is happy and nice and square. I believe it is. Everything kind of went back where it was supposed to, but yeah, she looks good. It's amazing what fresh metal does. This dash didn't look bad from the top. I had thrown just some cheap black primer on it just to cover up some rust after I wire wheeled it, the original anyway. And I never thought it looked terrible, but fresh shiny metal always does something for a car. So yeah, we'll finish welding the inside later. We'll grind up over here later. And we can finally finish painting up here like I've been wanting to do forever, but I think that's gonna do it for this one. It's late, I'm exhausted. Upcoming, so we were gonna do the floor, and we're still gonna do the floor. I talked my dad into coming over and giving me a hand with that, and that is the plan, but unfortunately he's out of town right now, and when I mentioned that I was gonna have to recruit some new help to get it done, he was a little bummed. So I'm gonna hold off until he gets back and have him give me a hand with that. I think what we're gonna do in the meantime is we're gonna try to jack the car up in place, get it in a happy place in the garage, and pull the subframe out from under it because I want to fix the body mounts. Kind of tough to see. You can kind of see it right here. We've got a big thick washer just welded on top of there to hold the the original shitty rotted out body bushings, because the holes, as they do on these cars, were really, really rotted out and just about twice as wide as they should be. So we have this box of repair parts right here. These will be your back body mounts. These will be your right here, which I think these are fine. I probably won't use those. And then these are your, ooh, that's glary. These are your front body mount repair kits. Basically, you just lay these over top of the originals, trace out and cut out the top hard to see. Cut out all this up here, lay this in. I'll probably bevel it and just blast her in and make sure she's all good. So I think we're gonna do that next, just try to make this thing, make it so that when we do finally get the floor in and put the subframe back under the new floor, that all of our mounting locations are good and square. And also gonna pick up a new body bushing kit so that we can secure it properly. These things, these body bushings are pretty roached. So yeah, that's what's coming. And then floor not long after that, we'll figure that out and I'll keep you guys posted. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like the video if you enjoyed it, and always appreciate the comments. You guys have been great. I love the interaction, and if you see me do anything dumb, please, any advice, always appreciated. I know far from everything. But subscribe to the channel, follow along. We're just gonna keep on coming. So thank you guys so much. We will see you next time.